Hey folks, how's it going? If you're wondering why the top of my head is cut off in the frame, it's because we want to fit the guitar into the frame. So, I've been teaching remotely. I have a pupil in Canada. And last week's lesson we spoke about some Travis picking, independent thumb, that kind of thing. And I got onto a lesson that I first looked at back in 2003. I know, right? We're going back in time a bit here. And it was one of those lessons that taught me a style that really changed my playing forever. It was what they say in the industry, a game changer. I think it's safe to say. And for those that don't know, Travis picking or Piedmont style picking around the 12-bar blues is a really challenging style to learn if you've never done it before. But once you get it, once you crack that syncopation thing, the independent thumb, it opens up a whole new world and it changes your style of play. It gives you another tool in your acoustic guitar vocabulary, or electric guitar, doesn't matter. And it's something that it took me a while to get the hang of, but I'm really glad that I did. And now, this tune that I'm going to teach you today is usually the first thing I play. You know when you go into a guitar shop and you're trying guitars off the wall, or somebody has an awesome guitar that you want to try out and they pass it to you to have a go, and this is usually like the first thing. It's my go-to thing because I just love it so much. So I'm going to teach it to you today. I'm going to use the lesson that I used, which is from Acoustic Guitar magazine from July 2003. I will put a link in the description to share the PDF. And there's an introduction by Pete Madsen, who did the lesson, so kudos to him. This is copyright Acoustic Guitar, String Letter Publishing. And it's broken down into little digestible exercises. So I'm going to put timestamps throughout this video and you can refer to the sections as you work through them. I will put the exercises on the screen as I play them, so you can loop them or do whatever you want to do. And yeah, I hope you enjoy it. Now, one of the things it recommends in the article, which when I first started to play this, I didn't do, it recommends that you use a thumb pick. And I've had this recommended to me by a tutor of mine when I was studying with a fingerstyle player called El McMean. That was one of his recommendations to me, was to learn to use a thumb pick. And the reason for that is because in El's opinion, particularly fingerstyle guitar players tend to play too quietly. Now, for those of you who have amazing acoustic instruments, the way to get the best out of those instruments is really to play them, you know, not just sit and hide the tone away so no one hears it. You want the tone to project. The guitar will start to wake up. Everything will just be better. So this is where the thumb pick comes in. It gives you a real snap on the bass strings. Now the bass strings in this kind of style is really going to be the bottom three strings. And when we say bottom, we mean lowest pitch, not closest to the floor. So the bottom string is at the top of the guitar. But that's the bottom string and that's the top string. So when you play with the thumb pick, it gives you more snap, more tone, more volume. That means you have to compensate with your fingers by playing equally as loudly. Using nails if you have them, or callus if you've been playing a lot, or just your fingertips. Once you learn how to do that, you can then dial it back. And what it does is it gives you dynamics when you're playing, so you can choose to play quietly if you wish, and you can choose really to push the sound out if you so wish. And it's a really colourful thing to have in your palette. Right, so that said, I recommend that you get a thumb pick, try it on. You can see this one here. This is a Fred Kelly. It's a medium size, which means it's actually squashing my thumb a little bit. I don't know if you can see that. so that it doesn't come off. It's nice and tight and it's comfortable. Right, so to start things off, I'm going to play the tune right through from beginning to end so you can hear exactly what you're going to be learning how to play, and then we'll start breaking it down into exercises. So here we go. This tune is called Trainstop Blues. There you go. So I probably didn't play it exactly as it's written because I've been playing it for such a long time that it will have evolved over time and some changes will have come in. That's just how music should be. So let's start with exercise 1. Right, here we go. We're starting out with an E chord. This whole thing is in the key of E. It's a 12-bar blues using the 1-4-5 chord progression. So we have the chord of E, A7, which is your 4 chord, and B7, which is your 5 chord, back to the 1. So that's your chord progression. Exercise 1 is holding down the E major chord in regular first position, and we are starting with the thumb on the bass string, and we're using on the top strings ring finger on string 1, middle finger on string 2, index finger on string 3, like that. So we're going to have this going with the thumb. So it's 6, 4, 6, 4, 6, 4. If you can imagine winding up your thumb like a clockwork mouse, that's what's happening here. This whole thing is about winding up the thumb and just setting it going for the whole tune and then forgetting about it. So the thumb does its thing. And we're going to pick the melody notes with our 3 fingers here. So the beginning is a pinch. We're playing at the same time. Strings 1 and 4. And then back to our bass note. So we've got that. Okay, that's the first bar. And that's the tricky bit. So we're pinching. That melody note on string 5 is played on the offbeat, and that's what I mean when I say syncopation. You're playing that on the offbeat and then finishing the thumb. And that's the thing that's going to take you a little bit of time if you've never played this style, is that syncopation thing. It's a bit like, you know, patting your head, rubbing your tummy. You're doing 2 separate things at once. This is what the independent thumb is all about. Because at the moment your thumb is not independent, you're going to be thinking about it. And it's going to make you trip up. So that's a good little thing to do, which is not in the lesson. But but that's showing you how the 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and. So anytime we're playing a syncopated note, it's going to fall on the and of the rhythm. This first bar, we have both. We've got on the note and off, or on the beat. On, off, on, off. So first bar, second bar, first, second. And I recommend that you practice that a few times until you get it, because exercise 2 and 3 are going to be even more challenging. So you really need to get this syncopation idea before you move on. Okay, exercise 2 continues in the same vein. Except now we're introducing this string here, the 4th string, and that's also syncopated, just as it was on the B string in exercise 1, and we're using the index finger to pluck string 4. Very similar to exercise 1, except instead of the B string, we're playing the G string. Okay, so if you were able to play exercise 1, exercise 2 should come quite quickly. Exercise 3 introduces a hammer-on, and this is adding a whole new level of complexity where the syncopation is concerned. So if you've never played hammer-ons before, this is going to be a real challenge for you. We're hammering on the G string, still holding down the E major chord, and we're hammering the index finger onto fret number 1. So I'll show you a different angle so you can get a look at how that looks. So you pluck and then hammer. And you want to get almost as loud a tone with the hammer on as you do with the pluck note, if you can. So that's how you do a hammer on. And what's happening in exercise 3 is that the note is plucked on the offbeat and hammered on the beat. So what happens is the thumb plucks on your rhythm note at the same time as you're hammering on, like that. So it's a little bit tricky, it's going to take a bit of practice. So we play the whole exercise through, it sounds like this. So good luck with that, have a practice, come back and we'll do exercise 4. Okay, here's exercise 4, and if you look at the chord box shape, you'll see that we are playing an E6 chord, and we are fretting, according to the box, this shape here. So we're playing from string 5, 2, 2, 1, 2. So fret number 2, 2, 1, 2, and open. But in this exercise, we're not actually playing the 5th string, so there's no need to make that shape. All we need to fret is the 2 on the 4th string and the 2 on the 2nd string, with fingers middle on the 4th string and ring finger on the second string, leaving our index finger free for, yep, you guessed it, another hammer on. Right. So exercise 4 sounds like this. So again, we're hammering on the beat. The pluck note is on the off beat. And if you want to have your index finger be sure it's in the right place, you can actually make the shape before you start with the index finger on fret 1 of string 3. So you know it's in the right place, but when you come to pluck it, make sure you lift the finger off because it's an open string and then a hammered note. So see there? I'm lifting off, hammering down. Good luck with that. And now we're moving on to exercise 5. This is where we shift to our 4 chord, which, if you remember, the 1-4-5 progression in the key of E puts us into A. But in the blues we tend to use 7 chords, and it's giving you 2 options with the fingering according to the box. So you can either make a bar, which is a bit more challenging than just playing with 3 fingers. So you choose however you're used to playing this chord. No hammers, just a bit of syncopation, independent thumb movement. Nice and jaunty, or fingering this way. Okay, exercise 5, nice and straightforward. Moving on to exercise 6. We're still on the A7 chord, but this time we're getting a bit of movement, a bit of melody coming in on the high E string. So we're starting with the open high E. Movement there on the high E string. And fingering wise, I'm using my pinky on the 3, pinky, ring, open. Okay, exercise 6. So I think we'll leave it there for now. This is enough, I think, for you to be getting on with. Plenty of material here. And if you would like to continue with the lesson, then subscribe to my channel and join me for exercise 7 in the next video. If you have any questions, comments or feedback, just hit me up in the comments. I'm still a relatively small channel, so I should be able to respond to all inquiries. If there's anything you want to know, just let me know. And yeah, thanks for watching. I'll see you all in the next lesson. Bye for now.